Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The drama began slowly, almost imperceptibly. Over the last 3 months, reports circulated that Kody had been secretly attempting to contact his older children, specifically his sons with Janelle and Christine. After years of alienation, angry words, and even televised screaming matches, it appeared that Kody was finally experiencing the crushing weight of loneliness. The death of his beloved son Garrison shocked not just the Brown family, but even Kody's hardened emotional shields. For once, Kody was no longer able to accept the narrative that the kids were turning on him, without explanation. Janelle and Christine received outpourings of public sympathy as they mourned Garrison's death, while Kody came to be portrayed as the absentee father who prioritized his personal pride over his family's wellness. Whether out of genuine pain or a desperate PR move, Kody gradually began reaching out to his estranged children, beginning with timid phone calls, text messages and private, behind-the-scenes meetings away from the cameras. But here's where things got complicated. While fans were cautiously excited about Kody's attempts at reconciliation, Robyn apparently wasn't on board. Robyn raised serious reservations about Kody's efforts to reconcile, which surprised several family members. Why? Because from Robyn's perspective, these reconciliations posed a threat, not to Kody's well-being, but to her position of power. Robyn had worked relentlessly for years to establish herself as Kody's closest confidant, most faithful ally, and the only person he could always rely on in the face of familial treachery. However, if Kody is successful in re-establishing relationships with his older children, particularly those who are resentful of Robyn's perceived favoritism, the balance of power may alter radically. Suddenly, Kody may start listening to people other than Robyn. Suddenly, his attention would not be limited to her and her children. Robyn was suddenly no longer at the center of his life. And for someone who had spent more than a decade creating that reality, the prospect of sharing Kody's emotional loyalty did not sit well. Their first significant argument apparently occurred following a private family event in Flagstaff. According to inside sources, Kody had planned a low-key meal with several of his older children in the hopes of testing the waters of reconciliation. Christine and Janelle were both aware of the gathering, but chose not to attend, allowing the children to establish their own opinions on whether to reintegrate their father into their lives. According to reports, the evening went far better than predicted. There were still awkward silences and emotional wounds beneath the surface, but Kody was able to express genuine tears of regret for the first time in years. The children, naturally apprehensive, did not fully hug him, yet they did not close the door. For Kody, it was a ray of hope, a small crack in the impenetrable walls his children had erected around their hearts. However, when Kody got home and told Robyn the news, she was not overjoyed. She reacted with fear. In one of the most dramatic behind-the-scenes events, Robyn allegedly accused Kody of violating her trust. "After everything we've been through," she allegedly replied, "you're just going to go running back to them like nothing happened?" Robyn's emotional collapse was not caused by jealousy of Kody's love for his children, but by her fear of losing the narrative they had painstakingly created over the years, that the family had abandoned them, rather than the other way around. If Kody started making reparations, the story would disintegrate. It would entail admitting that they were responsible for the family's splits, a responsibility Robyn had long avoided by portraying herself as the misunderstood scapegoat. Robyn's own children became involved, exacerbating the conflict. Robyn's children, particularly Aurora, Brianna, and Dayton, have long played an important role in Kody's increasingly isolated family life. Kody has pampered them, putting their needs ahead of his biological children from previous marriages. Robyn, understandably protective of her children, was concerned that rekindled relationships with his other children might alter the family dynamic, leaving her own children feeling abandoned after finally forming a close rapport with their father. Robyn's focus was not just on family, but also on survival. She had given all for this relationship. She uprooted her life, cut ties with previous acquaintances, and faced unrelenting public criticism. For what? For the opportunity to create a united family with Kody. Robyn felt the walls of her carefully constructed world closing in as Kody began to rebuild bridges with those she thought had rejected them. Despite Robyn's protests, Kody has moved forward, albeit cautiously. He's been photographed attending small, informal meetings with his older children, occasionally with Janelle, who has apparently softened her stance in the hopes of healing. Christine, while remaining skeptical of Kody's motivations, has placed her children's decisions over her own bitterness. But not everyone in the family accepts Kody's abrupt change toward reconciliation. Paydon, one of Christine's outspoken children, remains skeptical of his father's motives, suspecting that Kody's new leaf is more about controlling public opinion than genuine love. Meanwhile, Robyn's growing isolation has been apparent on camera. In recent Sister Wives episodes, fans have observed a change in Robyn's temperament. She was once polished and poised, but she is now openly uncomfortable, guarded, and easily moved to tears when the subject of family fissures is brought up. Gone is the self-assured woman who boldly expressed her desire for a diverse family to work. In her place, someone is struggling to maintain emotional control as the society she established on devotion, sacrifice, and shared grief crumbles before her eyes. And when Kody takes hesitant steps toward reuniting with his estranged children, Robyn's reactions have become increasingly explosive. What's most fascinating about this interaction is how it turns the typical Sister Wives storyline on its head. For many years, Kody's relationships with his wives served as the show's core tension. Now, the drama revolves around his relationships with his children, with Robyn surprisingly portrayed as an antagonist. This change has delighted long-standing viewers who believed the show had become boring, dominated by recurring disputes over Coyote Pass and interminable scenes of emotional breakdowns. Sister Wives is finally addressing the central subject that fans have always wanted to see explored: the emotional impact of polygamy on the following generation. The subject of money adds to the strain. Financial fights have always been a part of the Brown family drama, and they aren't going away. Janelle and Christine have long claimed that the family's finances were disproportionately directed toward Robyn's household, while their own children battled with tuition, housing, and medical bills. Now that Kody has shifted his focus back to the children he previously ignored, there are concerns about how those finances will be handled. Will Kody be willing to help his adult children now that he's back in their lives? Will Robyn struggle to keep resources focused on her household, especially as her own children reach adulthood and need college funding? These are not merely emotional difficulties. They are practical, with real-world ramifications for everyone concerned. TLC, realizing the storyline's explosive potential, has reportedly increased production efforts to capture these behind-the-scenes events. Producers understand that audiences crave authenticity, and nothing is more genuine than watching a family go through a traumatic metamorphosis. Ratings have already begun to rise as news of Kody's shifting alliances and Robyn's emotional breakdowns circulated on fan forums and social media. For TLC, this is the pinnacle moment. The once unraveling patriarch making one more attempt to redeem himself while his former, #1 wife battles tooth and nail to keep the life they built together. So what about the future? Insiders believe Kody's progress with his children is still fragile. While some children, such as Gabriel and Gwendolyn, have voiced cautious optimism, others remain emotionally aloof, unable to fully trust a father who abandoned them at critical stages of their development. Kody's route to redemption will not be quick or easy, and with Robyn publicly trying to cope with their family's new orientation, the next few months promise more emotional fireworks than ever before.